叫做 peer teaching。我们的理念就是说，所有的学员他可以就是教学嘛，他在学的过程也可以教，所以我们现在就是在互相教手上牌的一个教学进程。这个 discovery learning 就是说，让学生自己教他从给他一大堆great 的这种文字啊，或者然后让他去里面有一些共同的特性，或者有一些然后他可以根据这一些他已经知道而且要学习的推断出分析，比如说我给他搞字卡，那这些字卡呢，
这样的话，他学不下去，所以你得想办法让他别比如我们要是现在有一个
好不好？都一组上，1、2、3、4、5。好，那孔佑老师随意我们了。啊 ？glue 没有 glue， 我们需要 glue， 我们需要
就这样放上就好了。
还有 glue 或者 scotch tape 都好。
这个应该是这个后面放2个，是的，
我这个待会儿直播一个后面2张会在这个墙上直接来这个贴一点。
那为什么苹果好吃呢？
好，同学们，请你。对，你过来看看这边，从里面的信息抽出来，然后所有考你一下，刚才那4张上面那个题目是什么？有没有记得？别看。function 还有呢 context 还有呢 analogy 这几个了，还有呢 text type，OK， 记住那3个，这个是好玩哦，这个是很形象的，你马上可以联系在一块。所以那个3个记住啊，那个很重要。好，那现在请你们 superior。请你现在再去表给我，把所有那个的写上去，那就能写了，不用走过去看，都记住了。所以就太聪明了。好的，我们这个 session 我们要谈的是 5C and 3 modes, everybody's favorite, right? Okay, 5C 第一个是什么 ？Communication。这一张麻烦你在上面中间写 communication， 写在这里或者是在这里都可以。第二个呢 ？Culture， 哪一个人说的？哪个老师说的？就算是这一位，好吗 ？Culture，OK。下一个 Comparison。Okay, comparison. In the order of ACTFL 的那个的话，那个还有哪个 C？ Connection. OK， 麻烦纸。OK， 写 connection。OK， 最后一个 Unity， 麻烦写上来，然后就是 make sure every paper。OK， 所以你的 task 是，你想到这个 C 的时候，你们写的是 connection 是吗 ？OK， so we have communication。写了。你们的是什么 ？Community。We have connection, culture, and comparison. Talk about communication. What comes to mind? 好吗
OK， 所以现在先第一组你就是想你自己那一张纸 the seed on your table. Okay, you start thinking what comes to mind and you write it down, and then you move to the others. Okay, and then if somebody else already written, you don't have to write it. Okay, read, just go through it. Oh, it's hard. Yeah. Okay. Anybody can come take a look. Okay, so the gather togetherness. Okay, that will kind of explain the perspective part of it. Okay, people gather to the 包饺子 and then you visit and then you whatever, and the 包饺子 is like a 元宝, so it's kind of bringing good luck and all that, and then when you eat it and things like that, those are the perspective. So when we design our classes, if we're going to be taking the opportunity of the language and present culture, that's what we think. Think about the product and what are the practice aspects of the culture, and then what's the aspect, 那个 significance. Okay. Okay. 下一个是 connection.
Connection, connect to different disciplines and connect between language and cultures, connect to different nations and cultures, connect to personal and family experience.
Okay, so there's a lot of connection, huh? Okay, the first one is connecting to different disciplines. What do you understand that to be? So 我们在学校里面我们教中文. What would be the other disciplines? Social study, 英文, science, art. The other one? 你刚刚科学. Okay.
即时对话。
即时对话，那是应该是
对。
Okay, thanks for now. 5 elements. South Chinese. Okay, principles for effective teaching and learning and characteristics of effective language lessons. Are you all familiar with this? Many of you have been to multiple Startalk sessions. So Startalk doesn't control how we run the institutes or the camps, but Startalk asks us to follow these principles. If we don't follow the principles, they don't fund us. So we have to try to do our best. In the second week of the camp, day 1 and day 2, we're going to have 2 external evaluators come and they're going to look and see how well we're following these principles. So let's get a unified understanding of the principles. This is the first principle. Okay. So you're in groups of, let's say, 3, 3, 3, 2, 3. Okay. So there's 6 principles. Could you take turns? One person explain to the other 2 what this means. Principle 1. Go ahead. Within your group.
The actual standards, the can-do statements.
Right. Okay.
And you're basing your lessons, you're basing your whole year on what students can do with the language.
Right. So you have a sense of where the students are at. If they're novice low, yeah. So you're focusing on. You remember they're parrots, right? So you have to have them do a lot of repetition. It's all memorization and stuff like that. So that's standards-based, right? Maybe after you're in 3rd or 4th year, you don't worry about 是跟这个课本走, but you think of 它现在是 intermediate high 还是 advanced low, 然后 you plan your curriculum that way. What does thematically organized mean?
instead of follow a textbook, you have certain things you want to learn, and according to that theme, you decide activity to go around that thing.
Right. So you base your curriculum on themes, not on 式字句，然后再字句，然后 you know that sort of thing. It's themes, right? So our theme for the camp is getting along in Hawaii, a visit to Hawaii. China in Hawaii is our theme. China in Hawaii, and week 1 is getting to know you. Yeah. So both Jiaban is raw beginners, and Iban, who've had 1 year, are going to be focusing on getting to know you. Okay. Just Iban gets to know you a little better than Jiaban. Okay. So week 2 is eating. What do you eat? Where do you eat? How do you eat? What do you like to eat? You know, food. And week 3 is shopping. Okay. Yeah. So themes, and the standards is Jiaban is basically here, moving here maybe, and Iban is maybe here. They're here, moving here. Yeah. A different person in your group, please explain what this means. Okay, can I call your attention to a couple things? Number 1, language-rich context. So basically, we're giving them a lot of language. Okay? We're going to give them a lot of language. So when you see the children listen to a Chinese documentary about Pearl Harbor, maybe you'll think, oh my God, 听不懂. What are you doing? 太难了. No, but we give them an input flood, and we just want them to understand a little bit. Okay? So, conceptual, partial, and full control. Have you heard of that? Yeah. Conceptual, partial, and full control. Okay? So we're not always going for full control. You have to start with conceptual. Okay? So the language-rich context such as stories, hands-on experience, descriptions. So be prepared for input flood. That's what it's called. Input flood. Okay? Frequent, varied opportunities. So think of what you've done so far here today. Okay, you've done lots of things. You've made posters, you've written posters, you've lined up, you've done lots of different things. Okay, and the teacher provides paired or small group activities that engage students. Okay, so this is all learner centered. Can you tell where the teacher is? No. No, where's the teacher? Okay. So learner-centered. The learner is the most important part. The teacher is the guide on the side, right? Okay, go ahead. What's this? That's not comprehensible input. That's gibberish. So we don't want to ever talk gibberish. Okay. So the challenge is how are you going to make them understand? Okay. 学生听不懂的话别说. No translation. So I think writing the translation out, that's a what do you call it? It's a trick. But what you don't want is 一句中文一句英文一句中文一句英文. What does this mean?
So
Okay, any comments? Any issues with this? We want to integrate content and culture, not just this is a verb, this is a noun. Okay, all right. Adapting and using age-appropriate, authentic materials. Okay, so this is something that we use that is related to the, I think it's compatible, but it's not the 6 principles. It's called the 5 elements, okay? There was a professor named Lourdes Ortega who was here. Our Department of Second Language Studies, by the way, is one of the best in the world. Our University of Hawaii has a really strong second language studies department. Anyway, she wrote a book called Second Language Studies, and this was from that. And Middlebury School took it, and they started using it, and they integrated it into the curriculum. And I first was introduced to it through Middlebury School, and I really like it. It fits how we teach, and so we use it all the time. So, acculturated attitudes. So number 1 is attitudes. Okay, some people say that if the student has the right attitude, they will learn no matter how you teach them. It doesn't matter how good or bad you are, what textbooks you use, what the environment, if they have the right attitude, they will learn. So some people say that the most important thing is the attitude. So like those studies, the most important thing is the attitude. So number 1, we have to do things to make our students have the right attitude. Okay, so we have to motivate them. And they say that students, everybody, people, love to learn. So if you create an environment in which they feel that they are learning and they are making progress, that is highly motivational. You don't have to give them awards, you don't have to give them prizes. If they feel like they are learning, they'll stay with you. Okay? So we have to create an environment. That's why we say input flood. We want to have so much stuff there that everybody takes something away. Everybody can take what they need away from it. So motivation, that's number 1. Number 2, we want them to engage with the target culture. If they're learning Chinese, we want them to like China. We want them to feel like, you know, it's useful to learn Chinese, right? I want to learn Chinese. We want to give them a sense of what's China, who are the Chinese, what's their history, all of that, right? We want them to be interested. So sympathetic engagement with the target culture, but we also need them to have realistic expectations. So when Berlitz says, give me a month and I'll make you fluent, we never say that. We say that, give me a month and you'll be able to say a name. If you want to become fluent in Chinese, you have to become a lifelong learner. So, lifelong learning. So, realistic expectations. Number 2, just like StarTalk, comprehensible input. So this has to do with, StarTalk talking about culture, content, language in a classroom and all that. This is comprehensible input, just like StarTalk says. Stephen Krashen said that, and the TPRS people say that all you need is comprehensible input. Just comprehensible input, comprehensible input, comprehensible input, and then they will start talking like falling off a log. They can't help it. If it's just comprehensible input, they will start talking. You don't have to do anything else. Okay? So we also agree that comprehensible input is very important. Okay? So it's a very early step. But then other people say that comprehensible input alone is not enough. They've done studies that say that there's lots of comprehensible input, they never move to becoming fluent. So Michael Long says that you have to have negotiated interaction. You have to have a time when the student thinks, I think it's this, is it this? And then they try it out. I just got back from Hokkaido, okay? And then I'm the only one in the group of 4 who could speak any Japanese. And so negotiated interaction, I think you say it like this, and I try it out and I look and see what's their reaction. Yeah, that was how to say it. No, that's not how to say it. Like otera and otearai. Otera is the temple. Otearai is the bathroom. So I want to know how to get to the temple. I said, otera wa doko desu ka? And I can't quite remember whether it's otera or otearai. And then waiting, depending on their answer, I think, oh, that was the right one. Because I know it's about, half a mile away. If it's otearai, it's like right there. So that's negotiation, right? See, so all that interpersonal, student, learner-centered work is to give them an opportunity to do negotiated interaction, right? Pushed output. They say that unless you push the student, they'll never talk. They'll never write. Yeah? They just listen and they talk back to you in English or something. Unless you give them some reason to, you push them. So they're saying that after you get through here, you make them, you encourage them, you give them motivation to talk, and not only just to talk a little bit, to make a long presentation. So in week 1 of the Jiaban, Zhai Laoshi will be teaching a class where they're filming each other talking. So that's pushed output. And then people say that you don't actually learn language until you notice what's the difference between this, until you notice the vocabulary and the grammar. So in this model, that's important, but not at the beginning. We put it at the end. Okay? We put it at the end. Noticing grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, usage, all of that is very good. But don't tell them at the beginning. Let them find out. It's fun. Let them have fun. Don't tell them. It's like telling them the ending of a murder mystery before they read it. Chunman has been talking about discovery learning. Let them discover. Okay, so this is that process. Any questions?